I'd never seen that before. I'm thinking my husband's going to surgery. Like, okay, what am I going to do with the kids for the next couple days?
I just remembered it wasn't painful, but I remembered this is going to get painful. And that was what was making me nervous, was like any second now, this is going to be a shrieking pain. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Raising Heights with Zach and Tori. I'm Zach.
I'm Tori.
And we are excited you're here. I feel like we're getting a little repetitive with our opening.
I think that's like good though.
Gotta spice it up.
Some people like, what's it called? I don't know what it's called. Creatures of habit. Sometimes people just like consistency. There we go. Yeah. I am a creature of habit, so I appreciate a little consistency.
I just hope I just don't start sounding stale though, you know?
Stale though. Well, you sound like you're getting sick, so that's fine.
I think I am. No, I'm not. It's all in my head.
It's all in your head. Guys, any other wives out there? This is for all the ladies.
Ladies.
Sometimes I feel like I can't say I don't feel well because then all of a sudden Zach is sick as a dog and can't move. So sometimes when I'm like on the verge of being sick, I just will keep it to myself and just...
Totally just reminded me of something that you never replied to.
What did I not reply to?
On my Instagram.
What did I not reply to?
That I sent you last night.
Oh, I didn't look at any of the reels that you sent me last night.
You missed out.
Oh, darn it. Babe, I woke up so miserable this morning. So Zachary, I've been sick. I've been on my deathbed. I fell asleep last night at like 8:30. We put our kids to bed and I was like, I probably won't see you again.
I was up till probably like 12. I actually stayed up pretty late.
Oh.
Okay.
So I woke up this morning to like 5 reels from Zach and I did not look at them.
All right, let's do peek and picks. Now I got excited. Let's
gosh.
Go. What's your peek and pick? All right, so okay, guys, we do peek and pit every week, and we talk about the good things and the bad things before we get into our topics. Tori, what's yours?
My peek? Waking up this morning and my daughter just asked me to take her to Target.
I don't know, what the heck?
Sometimes you just need to get yourself a coffee and walk around Target.
Lila she needed new toothpaste.
I know, she needed new toothpaste.
Okay.
We went to Disneyland and it exploded on the plane, and ever since then she's like, I need new toothpaste.
No, but that's not the thing. Albertsons is 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
You can get toothpaste. You do not need to drive all the way down to Target. You pass multiple stores getting to Target that have toothpaste. The fact that Lila thinks that's where you need to go to get toothpaste.
It's not about the toothpaste though.
Absolutely.
It's about the vibe. It's about the vibe, and it's about just...
Target has a wrangle on you women.
Oh, I have said it. If they had like a wine bar, Costco and Target, if they had a wine bar, they would make millions. Millions. Like my girlfriends just go grab a glass of wine and walk around Target and Costco.
That's so dangerous.
It's already dangerous.
Honestly, though, if Home Depot had a beer garden.
A beer garden.
I also would.
You would thrive.
I still thrive. I already thrive. Okay.
So that was my peak, though. Just sometimes you just got to go with your daughter.
That sounds super enjoyable, though, that you had that.
And we didn't spend that much money, and it was just glorious. What was your peak?
She was great, right, during that?
And she was so well behaved. She was so great.
I was shredding papers at home, going through old mail, all the things, getting ready for tax season. Lila came home, got a handful of the shreddings, and scattered them all over the upstairs of the shop. So
Lila's at that age that she's like so good, and then she just does stuff that you're like, why? Like, what did that do? I feel like
sometimes she loses the attention, and then she's trying to gain it back. Like she had this wonderful morning with you where she had your one-on-one attention.
Yeah.
And now she was almost like seeking.
I don't know. With her, sometimes I feel like she just, I don't know. I do feel like she has an impulse drive that like you'll tell her no, like don't touch my phone, and she just has to just do this. Just before, it's always just, I'm going to just tap it.
Or
and
it's just like,
then it can be done.
Pretty shavings, party.
Dad, this is obviously what Dad did this for.
Yeah. So
impulse control. We need to work on that.
All right, so that was your peak. What was your pit?
I mean, still just the sickness that's running through our house. We had to pick up Jay early from school yesterday, and
he didn't go to school again today.
He didn't go to school again today, and he didn't want to do baseball, which he's sick when he's like, I can't do baseball.
You guys all know he loves baseball, and he told us, he's like, I don't think I should do baseball today. So
he's sick. So that's my pit.
Yeah.
Such a bummer.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. Hopefully I don't get anything. So my peak and pit. My peak and pit. I have a couple peak and pits if I can, real quick.
This portion of Raising Heights is brought to you by Zocdoc. How many times have you needed a doctor, but you thought, you know what, it's just too much to worry about, too much to deal with. I'm going to do it later. And then things escalate and then you really need a doctor.
Yes, and you don't have one.
How many times has that happened to you?
A lot.
A lot.
At least 5.
At least 5. Zocdoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare in-network doctors and instantly book an appointment. Zachary had brain surgery 2 years ago, and so we joke about it all the
Can't
time.
believe that was 2 years ago.
I know. That is wild. But we joke about it all the time because we're like, if we would have had Zocdoc at that time, we probably would have saved ourselves a headache.
Yeah. I had a very extreme headache.
I had a very extreme headache. So Zocdoc would be the perfect thing to have in your back pocket in case something happens.
Yeah, finding in-network is key, especially with health insurance and everything. Finding an in-network provider is fantastic.
Fantastic. So stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to Zocdoc.com/heights to find and book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/heights.
Go for it.
Going through old mail is my pit and my peak. It helps me remind old bills.
Yeah.
It reminds me of things. Remember my thumb? I dislocated my thumb.
Yeah.
I had all those
that's
bills.
Been like a year, or no, that's been more than a year.
Way more than a year. But I had all those hospital bills.
Oh my gosh. You guys, the amount of hospital bills that Zachary has is extensive.
It was a little depressing though. I was shredding like old bills that have been paid. I don't even know why they're still up there.
Yeah.
You know
we're terrified to get rid of them.
But how much money we've had to pay for different surgeries, the kids.
Imagine if we had gotten your situation under control 10 years ago.
I know.
I think about that a lot. Like we wasted so much money on hospital visits.
Yeah. Well, what's ridiculous, we went to OHSU and all that stuff was labeled out of network. That my doctor's labeled out of network. I was given that doctor like in the ER. You know what I'm saying though? Like how does that work? Like you're in the ER, you don't have a choice, and that's still labeled as out of network. You know? Yeah. Like I don't know. It was very interesting going through some of that old stuff. It was also super depressing. Tax season is always kind of sad.
You're always falling apart.
What? Oh,
you're always falling apart.
Oh yeah.
I've had like one. Minus having children.
Yeah.
I've had like one. I haven't even been to the hospital. I've been to urgent care like one time.
Outside of my shunt thing and my finger, my thumb thing was just, that was a fluke. I've never broken a bone or anything. That was just a little fluke.
You still haven't either.
I know.
We all know when that happened. So for those who don't know the story, we went to a birthday party and I was like, oh, Zach, I forgot the presents in the car. Yeah. And he ran back to the car and their driveway was really steep and he fell.
Yeah.
And like his thumb when he came back up was at a 90-degree angle.
Well, my feet are on flat ground. My thumb comes down on the driveway that's at like a 80-degree angle. Okay. And so my hand is coming down flat, but then it hits this huge angle. And I think that's what happened.
I still get the willies when I think about that. And if Kylie is listening to this, shout out to Kylie. She was like 19 at the time. Maybe 20.
Oh, yeah, and then she picked up the kids.
And I'm like, I'm calling her freaking out. And Kylie's like, it's okay. Yep. Where do I meet you? Like she stayed so calm during that.
She grabbed the kids.
Oh, I panicked so hard. I had to call Salmon Creek Legacy to ask if they had an emergency room.
Yeah. Or if they were open.
If they were open. Just like, what?
Yeah.
Of course they're open.
You went a little cuckoo. But
I'd never seen that before. But then I'm an idiot. I didn't know that you could dislocate your thumb. I'm thinking my husband's going to surgery. Like, okay, what am I going to do with the kids for the next couple days? Like, he's going to have surgery. And then they get there, they're like, your thumb's dislocated. You'll be fine. Let's just pop it back into place.
I just remembered it wasn't painful, but I remembered this is going to get painful. And that was what was making me nervous was like, any second now, this is going to be a shrieking pain. You know what I'm saying? I'm in shock right now. You know, in shock. It was a dislocation. It was a bad dislocation.
It was gross, you guys. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
it was just super interesting going through old mail and you just remember certain things and not just bills, but like other things too. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. It jogs your memory a little bit on what's happened throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? A landscape bill You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it's been a year since we did our wall landscaping.
Yeah.
I just told you this, the leak, the whole kitchen,
the kitchen
flooding. That's been
1 year ago.
Yeah.
Like in March 23rd.
Yeah. It's been almost about a year that we paid the first plumbing bill for all that.
That was a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's so funny though. We look back on that. That actually has been one of the biggest blessings. It's the biggest curse, but the biggest blessing that's happened since we moved to Battleground.
Oh, because we met some cool
people.
We've
met so many cool people because of that. Like we've become such good friends with the guy who literally like helped us. We're going to Sun River with them this weekend.
Yeah,
like
the guy.
That's a year later. We're going to Sun River with their family.
That's actually a fascinating thought, Tori. The general contractor that we met during all that is
we're going on family vacation.
Yeah,
now.
We're going on a family vacation a year later. That's
like
actually
his wife and I
point.
have become super close, and it's but then there were other things too that came up from that. Like I remember the guy who put the cabinets in, he was talking about New Heights and how he got involved in the church, and I just felt like we met so many cool people through that. I hate my wood floors. I hate them. It has nothing to do with anyone who it was my own fault. I picked the wrong ones,
and they squeak,
and it has nothing to do with the people that squeaking might have to do with the people that installed it, but the look and the feel and my disdain for my floors does not come from them, but I hate my floors. I hate them.
I'm sorry.
I know, I hate them. That's the only regret that came from that whole thing. And also my trauma dumping now, because every time I hear running water, I'm like, all right, well, here we go
will
again.
Literally hear water flowing through the neighbor's gutter. Okay, we live on acreage. Okay, the neighbor's house is hundreds of yards away, and she'll hear the flow of that water and be like, water is flowing.
Something's wrong. Well, and then when
Tori has fascinating hearing and smell capabilities.
When I was sick, we had fruit flies in our room, and they were up on the ceiling.
Yeah.
And instantly I'm like, there's a leak. There's a leak. Why are they on the ceiling? There's nothing on the ceiling. There's a leak. They're trying to get moisture somehow.
We never really figured out what that was all about.
I know we never did. But they stopped. So
it was just like a one-day thing.
Well, you should go up in the attic and check it out then.
I'll think about it.
But I'm just paranoid. I can't deal with anything now, because it's just that was such a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
But I think Zach's also learned to listen to me.
No, I have.
If I say something's wrong, perk up.
I also get
look
annoyed
around.
When I hear something, I'll say, Tori, what was that? And she's like, what? I'm like, you tell me what, okay? If I'm saying I heard something, you get your little...
Get your little bat ears out here.
Yeah, get your little bat ears out, okay? If I say, what's that smell? What smell? What do you mean, what smell? If I'm smelling something, there's something in the air, okay?
Yeah. So anyway, the restoration, that whole...
Yeah. So anyway, that was kind of fun.
Also, before we jump into the meat of this, which we're already 12 minutes into this episode, but... Babe, we got to talk about Snow White for a second.
Oh yeah, that movie's coming out.
That movie came out. It's out now. Yeah. And what's the scuttlebutt? What have we heard?
The premiere, there was some good reviews that came out about the music and all that stuff. So that's why you're gonna secretly, I feel like, watch it. Okay. You better just do it when I'm not here.
I know.
Okay?
I just won't tell you.
You're gonna end up watching it. I think, but it's not doing great. The money wise. It's not. So the reviews, the people that were invited to the premiere wrote good reviews about it, but there's not.
And I think that's what social media, because I've totally fallen for social media.
Yeah. The first weekend just happened, and I don't know. I forgot the money, but they're not.
It's one of the biggest flops, I think.
Yeah. For being Disney's first animated movie, right?
So, okay. That's where I feel like sometimes I fall for social media a lot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing that it's getting good reviews, and hold on, maybe we're wrong. Maybe we're in the wrong space. Yeah. But then I sit back and I think about it. Snow White was the very first Disney movie to ever premiere. Yeah. That's the original princess. And I think it was in the 30s or 40s. I forget when. 20s maybe?
Sure. No, 30s, 40s.
Yeah, anyway. It was the first princess for Disney. And it premiered at the Carthay Circle Theater in Los Angeles. And so I'm sitting here why would they not do something at the Carthay Circle in Disneyland? Because they were afraid. And they literally, Zach, they put it in the courtyard of the animation building and only invited influencers.
Yeah.
And so I listen to social media and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it's actually a really good movie. But then I have to remind myself, no, they paid people to come and like say how great it is. There's a marketing machine
behind it right now. Yeah. People are going to lose money. Heads are going to roll. Like this isn't a, and there's a whole bunch of drama with the two actors. We've talked about this. I think the actors ended up coming out, and I don't want to get into that, but like they have two different political views on certain world issues. That
it was religious views though too. Like
religious, country, Israel, this and that. So that whole thing happened, and
that got weird.
We're still upset about the animated dwarf thing, the CGI.
Okay, I was kind of disheartened to hear that there are LPs in the movie, but they're not the dwarfs.
No, Marty voiced.
No. Nope, they're the King's Court. I haven't seen it. My girlfriend saw it, and I'm a little upset with her.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. But she said there was an LP in the King's Court.
That's super interesting.
So I'm like, if you can use them in the King's Court, why can't you use them for Seven Dwarfs?
No, the whole thing, the CGI, is you look at these clips of it, and there's like all normal people, like real life people. It's live action, and then there's randomly CGI. Like the whole thing's ridiculous.
Just
dumb.
Dumb.
Anyway, why did you bring that up? Now you got me.
Well, just because it's like it's happening right now. I feel like we've been talking about it the last year, and it's finally come out. And I don't know. The whole thing. Don't get distracted though. The whole thing is still based off of like. I think representation in big time movies is very important, and this was an opportunity to have representation. Just because the storyline isn't perfect or anything is not, it's not 100% correct, woke, whatever you want to talk about, progressive. Representation is still super important, and for us to. Throw a little hissy fit because why are we telling the story? Yeah.
And then we'll just sweep you.
We'll just get you guys out of here.
Yeah, we'll just. Hey, we can technology this. You know what I'm saying?
CGI,
it's so that the principles of the whole thing, like, it's just people. I don't think we're being very honest. If they just said, "Hey, we're just gonna do this," great. But like the whole flip flop of the whole thing, and that's my whole issue. If they just call it Snow White and left all the dwarfs out. But then, like, I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. I think the visual could have been the Mirror Mirror. Remember Mirror Mirror?
Yeah.
The movie's called Mirror Mirror.
Yeah, with Lily.
And it's real life. Like all the huntsmen, whatever they're called, were people with dwarfism. Great. I think that's one of the best live actions of the story, Snow White.
But the problem with that one though wasn't it a comedy? It wasn't a like fairy tale. It was a comedy.
I don't remember it being like a comedy. But anyway, my point is it's possible and it happened.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they do it again?
Yeah.
And just get a little bit more progressive or a little bit more like updated, if that's the argument.
I feel like can we please bring back I just remember in like the 90s, 2000s, every film was a hit. Every thing that came out was like, this is amazing. Every animated, all the like old school Disney Channel movies, they were just, can we bring back that era? And I wonder if every generation feels like this. I wonder if like our parents' generation was like, what are all these 90s movies? These are fracking weird. Or if they were also into it,
Yeah. No, there's a museum that just came out, I feel like in Chicago or something like that. It's about the 90s. Like it's all the 90s. You walk through it, if you were born in I still think peak parenting in the 90s, I think just
peak
90s.
Life.
I think the 90s, looking back at the 90s, kid life, you look at like clips of high schoolers and everything. I don't know. Give me a flaw of the 90s, like, I'm sure they're out there. But, versus today, like, I'm like, just anyway. All right, what are we? That was my peek and pit. That was your
20 minutes later.
Yeah.
Okay, well, did you guys do your homework? We gave you homework. Episode 3 of Little People, Big World. Now, I'm going to preface this with this episode was a little more not as fun. Not as happy.
This little game that you want to.
This like I'm like trying to like be energetic and positive, but I'm like, ooh, that one like hurt a little bit. Yeah. That was a little painful to watch.
Tori's been over here all giddy about it.
Giddy.
Let's watch these episodes. It'll be so much fun. Yeah. And then she gets to episode 3, and it's like, oh, okay, hold on.
But I think we have to like. You're gonna have something to say about this, but I this is the first episode that's not about Zach.
Took 3 episodes to get there.
Yeah. It's like definitely heavy on your parents and their marriage and money. And so that's why I was like, well, this is depressing and I don't really want to talk about any of this.
Got it.
So I'm going to spin it a little bit and we're still going to talk about the episode because there's still some nuggets in here.
Some nuggets.
But I think we're going to talk more about like how it relates to us and our marriage and like what we're doing currently. I first off want to say it because the whole episode opens with kind of showing your mom's day to day.
Yeah.
She was bad ace. She still is, but she was like the ultimate mom. And I just give her so much credit for everything because she had 2 jobs. So she was the admin for the Hillsborough Soccer Club and she was a preschool teacher. And she was coaching Jacob's soccer team, and she was doing this television show, and she was taking care of 4 kids. So it starts out with like your mom and just how she runs her day to day. And I think that she gets a bad rap for like her house being messy or being disorganized or, you know, all these things. But at the end of the day, she was the ultimate mom. Like she was there for you guys and you guys alone, and nothing else mattered.
Yeah.
And I just have to shout her out and she's still that way. Like she's not running the same household that she was back then, but she's still like so present for her 4 kids, but then also their wives and their husband and all of her 95 grandchildren. Yeah. Like, you know, like she's always present for all of us. Anytime we need anything, she's there for us. And I just felt like that needed to be
said
because I think that the episode revolves a lot around her feeling unstable, and that's why she had 2 jobs, you know, because it was like not consistent. And so I thought it'd be kind of interesting just to talk about how like we deal with that in our own marriage. And like
I think I've said this for a while, and I've said this I don't know if I've said this on this podcast, but I was a big fan of my mom growing up.
It's
like
good.
My mom and me were tight, you know, and I had a lot of criticism of my dad. I still do. You'll see it later in later episodes. The stuff.
Oh, we saw it in episode 3. We see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I said, what I still say today, I was saying back then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I haven't changed too much there, but since being married, kind of to your point, since being married, I have seen certain things from my mom that as a wife, you know, she was a great mom. I do maybe see places.
Well, and I don't think we need to talk about that. I think
I guess I'm saying relating to you being a great mom, but like also being a great wife. Like there are things that like when you're just focused on your kids so much, I do see how
totally you lose yourself when you do that. But I think the difference for us, or maybe not even the difference, just like how we run our relationship is we are very communicative, and you and I are very different people. And sometimes I think I'm more like your dad and you're more like your mom. And I think we're aware of it maybe.
Yeah.
And we talk about it and we work through it. And I think that's really important in marriage to like have conversations, because like no one wants to talk about money. I never want to talk about money. That's like my least favorite thing to talk about in our marriage, because I'm the spender. I'm the one who like likes to go out and do things. I'm the one that's constantly like looking for the next project. And so I never want to talk about money, but it's important because like you want to talk about it so that we don't get to a place in our marriage that all of a sudden we have no money and it's because Tori went to Target with Lila.
Well, it's and it's not just that. Like I'm not gonna be the guy that gets on you, but like it's also just I need you to like. You sometimes don't. If you don't feel it, I can tell you all day long how much money we make or this and that or what bills we need to pay. But until like it happens and you feel it, it doesn't quite register all the time. Which sometimes I'm like I'm fine with that. But just acknowledge that. Yeah. And so when it does happen, you're like, oh, that sucks. It's going to suck. But I get it. You did tell me this. I just didn't feel it at the time. Yeah. I feel like you do a great job of kind of acknowledging that. Like,
and I think that that's like a really big difference in our upbringing, because I think that you were brought up in a household that was very financial aware, whatever you want to say. like your dad, I think, did a good job of educating you and your siblings on like, just because you get a credit card, do you know what this means? Like, do you know what it means to have a debit card? Do you know what it means to have $5?
I don't think I got a credit card until I met you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, but I grew up in a household that was like, or so when we first got married, you were like, no debt. Like John Ramsey's #1 fan, like
Dave Ramsey.
John Ramsey. Dave Ramsey.
Who's John Ramsey?
Who's John Ramsey? Dave Ramsey. And for me growing up, debt was just part of being an American. That's just like you were in debt. Like you got a car payment, you have a school payment.
I think my mom and dad did pretty good at that. My dad definitely was a businessman though, and you spend to make money.
Yeah.
And there was a couple times in life,
which is still hard for us. Yeah,
you're hoping to spend, and you're gonna hit that jackpot finally. That product is gonna take off or whatever it is, and that never sometimes comes around. And then
and that was him. Like he was hustling with DAS, and he was trying to get direct access solutions like off the ground in this episode.
I do look back at all that. Like, I don't know why he wasn't working sales anymore. Or software, but then I'm like, okay, what was he like in his 40s? You know, like I could see, or just being in my 30, I'm almost 35. Like, man, he worked sales. He worked a corporate job for how many years? 20 years, and he was probably like, let's change this up. Let's be an entrepreneur, like this modern day. He was not like today's entrepreneur. Like they're trying to hustle. They're trying to do a bunch of little things to like make it work. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, I just look back at that. At the time, I was like, stability and all this other stuff, but then I'm also like, okay, like I could see that now at this age. I'm like, okay, that's literally what he was doing. He was, hey, let's make some products myself. I want to be my own boss, and let's see how this works out. It created some instability. My mom had to work 2 jobs and all these things, you know, and that's like a criticism of my dad was my mom. I could see where my mom maybe focused too much on us kids, which hurt her and my dad. But then my dad, I think my mom was looking for 2 stable things. Do whatever you want to do. Do the farm, be creative, whatever. These 2 things need to be constant. Yeah. Like no matter what happens, as long as these 2 things don't get touched. And I think...
What were those 2 things?
Or like we're not selling the house. Like this,
got it.
We stay here and the kids go to school.
Got it.
The kids don't move their school. You know what I'm saying? Like those 2 things, everything else... I just don't think my dad could give my mom that stability and that confidence. And that's where, so those are the 2 things. My mom maybe could focus, she put all her energy into us kids. Yeah. And then my dad couldn't give that security there.
But I think it's given us good insight. I mean, I think relationships around us affect us, not just our parents, but like other people too. And I think that we've seen like those things in other people. And it's helped us be better communicators about like what we expect and what our idea of the future is going to look like. And so I feel like it's only helped us within our marriage to be able to like communicate more effectively.
And there's balance. I think my dad was one way, like way one way, and then my mom was way one way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And both of them could have done better with a little balance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then
which everyone could do better with a little balance.
Yes, well, I think about balance all the time. Like even politics, today's politics and all the things, like we go so extreme. Yeah. Sometimes like, well, like there's pieces there that are really good, but why do we have to take it so far? You know what I'm saying? Or why do we have to do this? It's like, life should be like 60-40, but sometimes we do things 80-20. Yeah. And it's like, if we just all go 60-40, granted, sometimes you don't get ahead in life if you go 60-40. So I'm probably I lean more conservative for sure, probably. Like it just in terms of risk, you know? Yeah. But I look back at my mom and dad, and I'm like, I think of balance and not going too one way or another, you know?
Totally.
And just it's constantly trying to recalibrate that, you know what I'm saying? As the stages of life go on, the kids get older, recalibrating, hey, are we, you know, as you get older, you less risk with investments. When you're younger, you go more risk, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Okay, let's change subjects. Okay. Something more fun. The Previa.
Oh, yeah.
The Previa is introduced in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Previa, please elaborate on what that is.
The Previa was my van, or the family van.
The family car. Right now in the episodes, it's like the family car.
Yeah, it was the family car. And then eventually it became my car. My first car was the Previa, and we had a lot of adventures in the Previa.
So good.
Yeah, the Previa.
Toyota Previa I think they're bringing it back, by the way. Like, I think Toyota's bringing the Previa back.
That. Interesting. Yeah, because for a
I don't
while
know. That might be a rumor, but...
what is the Toyota right now?
Sienna.
Yeah, it's a Toyota Sienna. Mm-hmm. No, the Previa was awesome. All-wheel drive. I went mudding in that thing, camping multiple times. Like, I just could fit all the friends. We went on multiple beach trips with that thing. It got decent gas mileage. No, the Previa was awesome.
It's fun to see it as like your mom's soccer mobile. Yeah. Like, that's
because we took out the middle seat. The middle seat was probably still in there, right?
Oh yeah.
The middle seat. We took out the middle seat.
Yeah.
And then we would shove all of our friends in there, and we would have a riot with that.
So good.
When I met you, though, I had the Subaru.
You had just gotten the Subaru the year that we met.
Got it.
Yeah. You had just retired the Previa.
I know. I feel like it started having a lot of radiator problems, and like I wasn't a car guy. I wasn't a mechanic, and just like when I show up to my car,
have to like turn it
needs
on.
to start. You know. Yeah. I kept having to put water in it to cool it down.
Oh gosh.
And like eventually, I was like, I think I'm ready for just a car.
A car.
And then I did the Subaru Outback, best car in the world, Previa. Second best, what? Outback?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, Subaru Outback is a fantastic car.
Subaru Outback just has a vibe.
It has a vibe, but okay. Subaru Outback,
but it is good.
All-wheel drive, decent gas mileage, can tow,
It can't tow.
It can tow a little bit, okay?
It can tow a tiny bit.
Yes, I'm just saying it's a fantastic...
I'm trying to convince Zachary to get a truck. I think that he should turn in
I have gone on so many adventures with a Subaru Outback, and snow...
They do well
yeah,
off-roading.
The gravity, when the ice and the snow come, it just whips around, and no, Subaru Outback. So I did the Subaru Outback for 10 years, retired that one, literally went to the store, said, I want exactly this car, just a newer version. Yeah. Okay. Bought another Subaru Outback, and I'll probably ride this one to the ground too.
Zachary buying new cars is the most frustrating experience
it's just
ever.
Not fun.
It's not fun. They were like, do you want a moonroof? No. Do you want power windows? No. Do you want power seats? No.
Yeah.
All of it. Well, and then he's like, well, it has power windows. And you're like, okay, fine. I'll take it.
What's the most basic package of the Subaru Outback that you have of the brand new Subaru Outback? Yeah. That's what I want.
Versus like when I went van shopping, I was like, it has to have a moonroof. It has to have power door. Like, what?
Well, and it's my same thing with shopping for clothes and everything else. I just like, that's what I want. Here it goes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was like, I don't need to test drive it. It's just, I know what it is. It's a Subaru Outback.
You're a creature of habit.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure. I remember when we were looking at, I was like, can you please just go to the Toyota and just try RAV? Like, I would just really want you to try RAV. And I remember getting in the RAV4 and being like, you have to get this. And you were like, no, I'm going to get a Subaru Outback. And I was like, but this one is so good.
I do want to get a truck though eventually. I think as our kids get older and we start doing more road trips and everything, and we can tow boats and whatever else, rent. See, that's the thing, Outback.
Because one day we're going to own like a little trailer or something.
Moving up here, I tried to rent something at Home Depot.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought I have a hitch on my, and it's the small thing. But Home Depot has a rule. Mm-hmm. Your car has to be able to tow a certain amount. Yeah. Doesn't matter what product you're renting, your car has to have certain power, which Subaru Outback did not. And so I can't rent anything at the Home Depot. And I'm like, that needs to be trailer.
But
you know, so I was like, man, like with a truck, you have a whole new.
It's a whole new world.
Yeah, you can rent a trailer for anything, tow anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, Previa. That was fun.
Previa was awesome.
Checking out the Previa.
I think it's still around.
I know. You keep trying to bring it here.
I think it'd be way cool.
It's bright orange wheels and it's...
That would be way cool.
DBU on the side of it. Okay, anyway, before Zach tries to get any ideas on that one.
I know, wait. You just reminded me. Tori.
Okay. This one I feel like might be a little bit of a sour subject, but I'm going to just bring it up anyway. I thought it was kind of fun. Honey and Papa lived so close to you guys.
Yeah.
When we on the show, but then also when we first started dating, I remember you telling me that Papa and Honey lived right down the road, and it was kind of fun to see them. Like, you know, Papa passed away. Was it 3 years ago now?
3 or 4 years ago. Yeah,
it's been a while.
We lived here when he passed away.
And Honey is like, so it was just kind of fun just to see them in their prime, like see them with their grandkids and just enjoying being with you guys.
Yeah, younger version of them that they were moving, they were, energetic, we were their grandkids.
Yeah. And I thought that was just such a special moment seeing that. Like, Honey had planned some anniversary thing for your parents, and I just thought it was really sweet. And I can remember when we first started dating and I found out that they lived right down the road, and you guys didn't always have the best relationship. And so you didn't always go see them a lot. And I can remember being like, wow, if my grandma lived down the road, which the last 5 years, my grandma did live down the road. Unfortunately, she passed away over Christmas break, but that time getting to be able to like see her and be close to her was really important. And I feel like no one would look back on these memories of having Honey and Papa being a part of everything. Like, I feel like you can't look back on that without fondness of some sort, like.
Yeah, no, that was fun. Yeah. They lived 2 minutes away. Our old house before this house was 2 streets down from this house that they lived at.
Yeah.
So we moved into that same neighborhood. Yeah. This was years later, but like that, I don't know if you knew that.
I knew
their house was, seconds away.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So I am horrible. I feel like when you get married, you get gifted a lot of things. Like, I got a lot of Zach stuff that I'm like, what am I going to do with this? Like, I would get blankets and Christmas ornaments and all these different art projects. And I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
And I feel like when you get married, you kind of just put it away. Like, all right, I just got to find a place for this.
Yeah.
Well, recently I had pulled out a bag of teacups and saucers.
Like china,
like very nice china.
Yeah.
That Honey painted for Zachary as he grew up. Like, it was for like his 8th birthday, his 10th birthday, whatever it was. And she painted these beautiful cups and saucers with these amazing like Bible passages on it and all the things. And I was gifted this when we got married. And it was one of those things that I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I just put it somewhere, Yeah. And I recently opened it up, and now I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where has this been? Why have I not opened this? Why is this not on display in my house?
Yeah, it didn't fit your vibe. It didn't fit your decor.
I feel like you get into your 30s and 40s, and all of a sudden I'm in this era of like, oh, I need china. Yeah. Like, I need a china cabinet, and I need to like put these tchotchkes out because they're important.
Well, I think you've gotten a little bit more flexible too as you've gotten older. Like, back then, it's like not the right color.
My kitchen's white. It doesn't match.
Yes, doesn't match. Totally. Or now it's like,
but I did not have the appreciation for it whatsoever. Yeah. And now all of a sudden I'm like calling Matt, like, if you got a tub of this somewhere, don't throw it away. Send it to my house. Like, I will take it all.
Yeah.
Because it's just so special, and it's stuff that like.
No, yeah, she did that. She did she did art classes. She did art classes for a while, painting.
Like, she taught them, or she took them?
Yeah, she taught them. Oh, she had a little area in their house in Grass Valley that she did that. That was her big thing, was painting so cool. China for a long, long time. And yeah, we used to have a whole cabinet. What's it called though?
Yeah, like a curio. What is it? Curio cabinet?
Yeah.
Or like a china cabinet?
Yeah, big china cabinet in our house.
Babe, it's coming. I just need you to know that.
Yeah.
Your spot where you are it's coming.
Yeah.
I have it in my head, and the minute I find it, that chair is out of there.
Wait, what's coming? What's coming?
A china cabinet is coming. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Yikes.
Yikes. Yeah, buckle up.
You can't take my spot.
You're going to sit in front of a china cabinet now instead of sitting in front of cute little paintings.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she did that, which was really cool. That's kind of a fun memory.
Yeah. Okay, last thing, I think, and then we can wrap this up. I love you as a 15-year-old kid. Like, you're just adorable. I loved you then. I didn't know you then.
Yeah, I was like, what?
But I'm falling in love with this kid that's on this show as I'm rewatching this.
Yeah.
Well, okay, also in my defense, I don't think I've ever seen these. There's some of them where I'm like, I don't remember that at all, like, because I've seen a couple episodes, but I don't remember watching this one at all.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if you did watch the show back in the day, like, there wasn't Discovery Plus. You couldn't just go pick episodes out.
You missed it. You missed it.
Yeah, they probably reran a couple of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just whatever season you jumped in on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There wasn't this option to like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay, so you have a quote that you said, "I know there's a reason I was made to be a little person. I just don't know what it is yet." Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Is that good?
I thought it was so good, babe. Like, I'm going to get emotional about it right now because I look at that and I don't know. I think that you were so patient as a kid. Maybe you weren't, but it seems like you were. And you were very you were down on yourself. You talk very negatively about yourself in these episodes. And it makes me just so sad because I know who you are and like what you're about. And I think you're a good looking guy, but it breaks my heart to watch this 15-year-old have that outlook on life.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of our kids. And
a lot of that paints my picture though, of how I look at our kids and how I want to raise our kids and the confidence I want to try and instill in them. And sometimes because it does get tough and I don't feel like I had the looks, but then also I felt like I lacked the personality back then too, or the confidence to. So it's my big thing. I kind of I was me, but then also I wasn't very confident with myself either. Yeah. So it's kind of a double whammy. Life's already pretty hard. And so when you have, the mentals aren't working for you and the physical side of things
that's where
great, then it's
that's where I think your mentals were working though. You were mature beyond your years. But you just didn't have that physical confidence. Yeah.
And so then that's how I didn't carry, I've said this all the time, hey, you already look like you're 10. Don't act like it too. But I kind of I didn't dress up. You can still present yourself presentable. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can and maybe I was a little too drawn in what my friends were doing, what my brother was doing, and so then I became obsessed with other things, soccer or whatever else. I didn't have great balance. I felt all the time looking back at these videos.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit more balance in there. I appreciate I was insightful and all these things, but I wish I carried myself. I know it's a teenager. Everyone looks back at their teenage years.
Everyone has regrets from those years.
Man, if I was just a little bit more.
I say it all the time. I'm if I could go back to high school right now, it'd be so much more fun. You know what I mean? You do. You become more confident. You change. You grow. You evolve.
So that's the thing. I look back at myself now. I look back then.
You'd rock high school. You'd be walk in the park.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. You have no idea. When you're in high school and when you're in it. That's the most important thing. It's the most dramatic. It's the most traumatic.
Everyone's you're in your head. You're in your head. Everyone else is in their head too.
Everyone's in the same spot. You know. Yeah. But I did think that quote was great. I think that, and I feel like I've heard you say it before in other episodes about how your faith stood with you in your teenage years. That God made you this way. You just weren't sure of what that reason was.
It was a good thing faith especially was a rock that you can lean on and stand on, and
to hear that God made you in his image. He didn't mess up. He didn't make a mistake. There's a reason.
And I think everyone has those moments, seasons of life, some, not to say, if you're oh, I've already peaked then, but everyone has seasons of life.
Which I think we have, but
everyone has seasons of life where certain things, are important and you're doing well. And, now I feel as a parent, our season of life is raising up the next generation. Right. We have peaked in a way, but then also career wise, there's some people I'm actors, for example, it's all of a sudden they're in 20 movies at age 50. It's where have you been for the last 50 years? Yeah. And it's they've been grinding.
They've had a whole other life before this.
Never hit their moment. And then all of a sudden now, because however they act, how they look right now at 50, 60, or 70, they've now... that's what they're meant for, you know what I'm saying? And it just didn't work when they're in their 20s or something like that. So anyway, that's my example of some people just things come at different seasons.
I think that is a great saying though, is adding yet to the end of anything, I think is super important. You know, like when your kids say, I can't ride a bike, and you say, well, no, you just can't ride a bike yet. Or, you know what, like, I think that mindset is a really important one to teach our kids, and to like, to remind ourselves that like, we might not be there, but like, it's just not yet. One day, if you work hard enough, you know.
I think eventually though, the yet goes away as you mature though, eventually, right? Like you can't, well, because
I don't know if you necessarily know why you were made to be a little person. I don't know that you'll know that in your life. I don't know that you'll know that until you're standing in front of Jesus and he tells you what the...
Interesting. Okay,
but like one day, I bet you'll learn the reason. Like, you know, whether you feel it, you know, I think.
And there's there could be multiple reasons too. I guess that's what I was saying with peaking. Like, you know, you might, a reason comes into your life right now. Don't think, oh, okay, well, I just inspired that person. That's why I was a little person. Yeah. So I'm done. No, like there'll be other reasons.
There'll be other people.
Yeah, there's not just
LPs,
one reason either. Yeah. It could be multiple reasons.
100%.
So, anyway.
So that one wasn't as happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
But still great.
You're on your third date, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to...
All right, we got 2 more to go. Yeah. But I love seeing your siblings, though. I love, like, they're just so wholesome and so, like, I just love them.
Jacob and Molly, you're talking about.
Yeah, well, even Jeremy, though. Like, you guys are all just, like, just this... I have said it since I met you, the bond that you have with your siblings and, like, the things that you would do for your siblings, even at age 15... I've always admired. I've always admired that you guys helped each other, that you would do things for each other. Like, I didn't ever really have that with my brother growing up. Like, it was always a chore to help my brother, or, you know, you'd get the every time our parents asked us to do something. And, you know, like there was a scene that your mom couldn't get the bowls down from up above because they got put up in the cupboard. And she asked your sister to come in and, like, grab them for her. Yeah. And your sister she just did it. Like, of course, like, you can't do that. So of course I'm going to do that for you. And I just always really admired that about you and your siblings and your family. And I think you guys still do that. Like, we all have our things now, but at the end of the day, everyone, if you called any of your siblings, they'd be here in an instant, you know?
No,
and I think that's
agree.
cool.
I agree with that. Like I've said, like, my mom, you know, and my dad, you know, all 4 of their kids turned out
pretty okay.
Yeah, we're all pretty normal.
We're all pretty. You're all doing.
We're all
well.
somewhere between 4 and 6.
Yeah, on the crazy level.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. Watch episode 4. Come back next week. Hopefully,
we got 2 more. We're gonna do 2 more.
We're gonna do 5, and then we're gonna reevaluate.
Yeah, then we're gonna see where we're at. Maybe we'll pluck some out, but
but it's been fun though. It's been fun. I enjoy it.
You've enjoyed it. Like,
come on. Okay.
I still wish I could see you at 15. Like, I wish. Where's your show? Like, I want to. I mean, where's your episodes?
Call Cindy. Cindy and I used to make videos together. I've thought about this. There's those tapes are somewhere. We like, there was one that we like recorded over one of her soccer games, and her dad was so mad at us because we like.
I'm calling Cindy.
Oh yeah, there's content out there. You just gotta look for it. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you check out the merch, Raising Heights merch. I think we changed our website. I think it's finally live. It's raisingheights.com. So hopefully that's easier for everyone to remember. Raisingheights.com. Go check it out. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what it was before. I just shared it on my link.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
But our shout out to our team because they've done all of it for us. So raisingheights.com. Go check it out. Make sure you like and subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts. Follow us on YouTube, on Instagram. Do your best. Forget the rest.